Coming up, after a chaotic 24 hours, neighbors reflect on a triple homicide in Bloomington.
Plus, where in the Twin Cities OSF wants to build a new chapel.
And how a program is investing in the future of Peoria Public Schools and the community.
Welcome to WMBD News at 5. I'm Lauren Langer alongside Eugene Daniel. We begin tonight in Bloomington, where a shooting yesterday left 3 dead and a 4-year-old in critical condition. DeLon Dillard joins us live from the scene. DeLon, are there any new developments at this time?
Well, yeah, Eugene, just within the past 10 minutes, we did speak with the Bloomington Police Department. They tell us they're waiting on the coroner's office to finish their investigation about the shooting that happened at this apartment complex just over my shoulder. Now, residents in this neighborhood are in shock. I spoke with several residents who didn't want to be identified on camera. They do tell me that they do know of several other shootings that have happened in this neighborhood, including a shooting that happened at this apartment complex behind me, where a person's car window was shot out. Now, that shooting happened here on Raleigh Drive. We're near the intersection of Empire and Veterans Parkway. Those 3 adults were pronounced dead at the scene, along with a 4-year-old was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound and is currently in critical condition. Now, I'll be here in Bloomington throughout the evening. We'll be bringing you the very latest, including an update when that report from the coroner's office is given to us. For now, I'm live here in Bloomington tonight. I'm DeLon Dillard. Eugene, Lauren, back to you.
Thanks, DeLon. It's been a tough 24 hours for those people that live in that complex.
It really has. We continue our team coverage with Brianna Lee, who spoke with neighbors about what they're feeling a day after the chaos.
A Bloomington neighborhood is still in shock after 4 people were shot Monday afternoon.
It's concerning. It's not the first time something like this has happened, but it makes me want to move.
Police responded to shots fired on Riley Drive. The 3 adults were pronounced dead at the scene, but a 4-year-old was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound, then life-flighted to Peoria in critical condition.
It's frightening because you have collateral damage. I mean, there was a 4-year-old here.
David Schaefer says he used to live just a mile down the road and that it used to be a quiet neighborhood.
It's very concerning. It's, I always thought of Bloomington as, being a very nice place to live. It's changing.
Neighbors agree that something needs to be done, but they aren't sure what. Mataski says it's scary to think more incidents like this could keep happening.
I mean, it's a residential neighborhood, and it's alarming that so much has been going on recently. It's not just here, but in Bloomington in general.
Police are asking that anybody with information please come forward. In Bloomington, Brianna Lee, back to you.
Bree, thank you. Neighbors we spoke with last night raised questions as to whether this triple homicide is connected to a double homicide just last week. In the early hours of Sunday, June 10th, 18-year-old Stephen Alexander Jr. and 20-year-old Tanisha Brown were shot while at a party on Orchard Road. 2 others were injured in the shooting. Police asked witnesses to come forward, but at this point they are still searching for suspects in the case.
A man is dead after a car crash turned into a shooting. Early this morning, police got a call of a crash on Knox Road in Galva, and they found 20-year-old Xavier Hartman laying on the ground after a crash. He later died at the hospital. Police say that 59-year-old James Love, who lives yards away from where the crash took place, came out of his home and went to the scene. An altercation then started with Hartman, eventually shooting him. Now, Love is currently in the Knox County Jail awaiting his court appearance. Wyoming firefighters are calling a 12-year-old boy a hero for alerting his family to a fire inside their home. And it's making us Central Illinois proud.
That's right. WMVD's Cody Sheever spoke with the family and how their son's fast response saved many lives. Cody?
Eugene, Lauren, it's something you never want to have happen to you, but when a house fire is underway, firefighters say a fire plan is vital to have. And with the help of one child, a family continues to live together.
So I just sat there screaming, yelling, fire, 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 I don't know how many times.
12-year-old Nolan Snyder was preparing for bed in the early hours of Tuesday morning when he noticed smoke entering his bedroom door. Without hesitation, he acted fast, making a life-saving alert to his loved ones.
So I ran through the smoke and through the little bit of flames and met up with Nolan and everything, and I grabbed him and we tried to go back so we could be with the wife and the other 2, and we couldn't get back there. It was too hot.
After escaping the flames, Nolan ran to the neighbors for help. That's when Nolan's dad, Ryan, made a life-saving decision himself.
And that time I was done out of the house, and I come around the front, and my wife and the daughter and other son were up here on this porch roof, and smoke was just coming out the window. So I grabbed my truck, I backed my truck up to the porch, and I threw the ladder in the back of the truck and climbed up there and got my other 2 kids down and helped my wife down.
Even with all the Snyders out of harm's way, Ryan ran back into the house and saved all 8 family pets. He says all the credit goes to Nolan for being a hero to them all.
I don't care about what's in there no more. I mean, my life is whole.
Nolan's dad said when Christmas comes around, he'll be getting an extra special gift for his hard work that kept their family together. Eugene.
Cody, thanks. The Bloomington Hospital is looking to revamp their chapel. OSF St. Joseph is looking for donations to help rebuild a new hospital chapel. The hospital deacon says their current chapel is hard to recognize from the halls because there are only a small couple of signs on a regular hospital door.
It was, believe it or not, years ago, about 1968 to whenever, as the front of the hospital. And so the sisters wanted that so that people can see that, hey, we're coming into a Catholic healthcare system. Well, since then, the hospital's built all the way around this chapel.
Surlick says the new chapel will be located right inside the main entrance of the building, and he hopes the new look will bring in more foot traffic. The hospital hopes to start construction next spring with the goal of being finished within a year.
Hey, traffic alert for drivers in Peoria County. Cleanup is complete at Kickapoo Creek Road between Harmon Highway and Bartonville. The roadway was closed for more than 2 weeks after rockfall shut down part of the street. County Highway representatives said they finished up some minor repairs and repainted lines before reopening up the roadway hours ago.
June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month, and one local organization is taking steps to prevent the issue. Holly Kozenik from the Center for Prevention of Abuse says many times seniors believe abuse to only be physical. However, it comes in many forms like neglect or financial exploitation, and most times it's a result of someone close.
Typically, the nationwide stats are that 80% of abusers are typically family members or someone that victim knows, loves, or trusts, which is really sad.
If you would like to learn about the complexities of elder abuse, be sure to tune in tomorrow on WMBD News at noon for a community-safe town hall focused on the issue.
President Trump says he doesn't want to separate children from parents who illegally cross the border into the United States. This comes as his zero-tolerance policy continues to spark backlash. Texas Republican Ted Cruz is introducing a Senate bill that would reunite separated families. It would also authorize new temporary shelters to house them and double the number of federal immigration judges to work through a backlog of asylum requests. Senator Cruz's plan has some Republican support, but President Trump has indicated he is not behind at least one part of it.
I don't want judges, I want border security.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, more than 2,300 children were separated from their parents at the border from May 5th to June 9th. Concerns of a full-fledged trade war with China are rattling investors and sparking a sell-off.
The markets recovered some of their early losses, but the uncertainty remains while the U.S. and China continue tough talk on trade. CBS's Angelica Alvarez has more from Washington.
We're going to make it fair.
President Trump told a group of small business owners it's time the U.S. evens the playing field with China.
China has been taking out $500 billion a year out of our country and rebuilding China. It's time, folks. It's time. So we're going to get smart.
Monday, the president threatened more tariffs on an additional $200 billion in Chinese goods, with China promising to retaliate. The Trump administration accuses China of taking advantage of the U.S., and talks so far have yielded no progress on trade. Experts say there's still time to work it out.
We hope that both sides, with the significant threats on the table, will see it as imperative now more than ever to get back to the negotiating table.
The White House is calling the difference with China nothing more than a trade dispute and insists President Trump and President Xi have a good relationship. Wall Street reacted nervously. The Dow closed down for a 6th straight day, enough to erase its 2018 gains. Experts advise the average investor not to worry about moving their money just yet.
Stick to your game plan. Of course, you feel nervous when you see gyrations, but don't take this to the extreme. Chances are you don't need your money for decades in the future.
The first proposed tariffs on Chinese goods aren't set to take effect until July 6th. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump also told small business owners he's trying to renegotiate NAFTA or he will seek separate trade deals with Canada and Mexico.
Still ahead, the 2 new flights being offered from Central Illinois.
Plus, a Central Illinois family taking action to gain insurance coverage for those in need of hearing aids.
And a severe thunderstorm warning continues for LaSalle and Livingston counties. Take a look at that warning update. This is until 5:45 p.m. for wind gusts up to 60 miles.